I usually park right here, y'all, about 50 to 70 feet away from this parking lot. As you can see, people look like they've been breaking into stuff. I think this was either African or black owned. It was called Talk of the Town Salon. I don't remember, but back in the day, I never really went up in there. I didn't buy nothing. I mean, they got like do-rags and stuff. Like, brothers might come and get some t-shirts and stuff, but I don't know that. I think that place, that was long. It's been long gone. It's seen much better days. This corner store on Nicollet and 24th. Like I say, the area right now, it's never really been top tier, but it's never kind of gotten this bad. Like, you see people pushing strollers, but ain't no babies in them. That's kind of where it is right now. This is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I think a brother runs this. Yeah, man, it ain't that great. You know what I'm saying? Like, the city, of course, has changed for the worse. I still like coming through and, taking a look. Now, it looks like way down on Nicollet, they got a detour. So, of course, I'm going to veer off on and bust a right on Franklin. Right here to the left, there used to be like a little breakfast spot. But now it's, I don't know what it is right now, Mediterranean food. So I haven't heard anything about it. I try to stay in the right-hand lane just in case I need to go ahead and bust a sharp right. This is another place right here called a vegan cuisine. I ain't really heard nothing about that. But them little hole in the walls, man, so a lot of times be having the best food. So I might go ahead and check one of those out one day. But, in this area right here, the Franklin area, for those that don't know, I'll let dude pass me. It's always been like this. It's always been like this. This is a certain demographic. I used to go, every now and then I'd use this gas station, but I don't really be using it all like that. Not really. You know what I mean? So we'll just go down Franklin. I'm going to show y'all once again why the homeless folks don't really give a damn about no King's Day. Yeah, they're not tripping on it. They ain't got nowhere to stay, so they ain't got nothing to protest about, right? This Wendy's, I don't really rock with that either. I was actually going to stop by and grab my grandma burger, but I ain't really going to mess with this one. That one's packed anyway, so I'll just go on late. Off to your right, the legendary Electric Fetus. Off to your left, these buildings have always been, I don't know who lives in them. Let me see if I can get like a little thing. You can see the top of the building right there. I don't know who. They've always been boarded up and janky, and I don't know what they be doing. I don't know if they getting their New Jack City on and getting their fentanyl finagle in. I've never seen anything. Maybe like 40 years ago or something like that, they were beautiful, but I've never really seen anybody have those buildings in tip-top shape. And I'm surprised they didn't do anything with the buildings because, I mean, it's a prime location right off the freeway. If they want to gentrify the hell out of this area, I suppose they could. But again, this is the designated part of the South Side for the homeless, for the lames, for those that ain't really trying to get no bread, for those that are struggling. You got a lot of able-bodied men around here that ain't on too much. You got a lot of able-bodied men where their brains ain't on top of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, this is the place that they've designated for the South Side, you know what I'm saying, to rest its laurels on the foot and on the tendons and heels of poverty. This specific epicenter, that's what they've designated it to be. They want it to be over here, and it always has been. Like, this has always been the worser looking part. You see they got all the nonprofits and stuff like that. They're still, they're doing their thing. They're up and running. Oh, on site. Yeah, I don't know about that. I guess got a recruiter that said it's a 6-month contract to start. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and respond to this dude. 6 months ain't enough. I got to have a 12 to 24 month. If they talking about renewing my thing over here, you know, but I might still take the interview and see what's going on. I'm really not liking how this guy was moving. He ain't been kind of keeping me up to par or up to date. But the rate, I think they wanted like 70 an hour or something like that. But I don't know, man. I might just kind of park and just stand on my lily pad a little bit. All right, so we're on Chicago and Franklin right here. This is a prime example of what I've been talking about. Off to the right, you seen there was a little car accident. So, you know, off to the left, you got the Minneapolis market. You got some brothers for the South Side services right here, standing out there in their yellow and their orange shirt. So not sure what's going on down there. I don't know what's up with the police right here. I guess they just moving folks around. Yeah, a lot of these folks look like, you know, a lot of these folks kind of standing on the corner. They just look like, you know, they just on that pipe. Yeah, ain't really nothing changed, man. Nothing has changed. Franklin is Franklin, you know. Got Chase a Bag Bank off to your left. That's fairly new. They building something over here. I think it's for like the natives or whatever the case may be. I don't know what they building right here. I think it's like some kind of a building. You never know. They might gentrify the hell out of this area, man. It's flat. It's all ready for it. All they got to do is raise the taxes and get all the people out here that ain't got no money. They could do it. They could do it very simple. It's not hard to do. It ain't hard to do at all. It's not hard to do at all. Y'all are gonna start seeing a bunch more Ricos and all kind of little stuff like that. Y'all gonna be starting to see a whole lot more of those coming out here with a lot of these foreign folks that think they're gonna be able to come over here and undermine us and get the fraud and carrying on. Those days are over. Ain't no more money. You seeing what they doing with the EBT? You seeing what they doing with the EBT? You got some folks snapping on the EBT. They up there talking about, you know, how dare you cut my EBT? You know, it's a lot of ratchet little hood rats doing that. The shower cap girls, a lot of them. That's who you seeing and everything. But now, one might ask is, okay, if somebody's fresh off the boat and they could get $3,000 to $5,000 of unearned benefits, should the shower cap girls be upset? I don't know. You know, that's what I've been seeing online. I mean, you know, but you know, they're tightening up the hustle. Some people are saying, well, this is the Republicans' fault. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that the Republicans are cutting all the benefits. Well, the benefits probably would have got cut either way, but now that they have power, people are saying that they're tightening the grip on folks that's able-bodied that don't want to work. They ain't got nothing for you. Is that true? That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing reports that they're saying, man, we cutting off everybody, even the people that need it. So if you an able-bodied, lazy-ass man and you've been getting some kind of support, or you an able-bodied, lazy-ass woman, you ain't getting no more support. But I'm hearing that they getting ready to cut it for everybody. Is that true? I'm hearing more things about the government shutdown. You know, I might have to put some of those figures in my video. I think it goes beyond just the Republicans and the GOP. I think that America is just tightening the grip. They're getting ready to, I believe that they're getting ready to bring in the AI at a full scale. They're getting ready to, bring in a new level of tyranny and change the digital coin and all kind of stuff like that. Because you got to think, for all the people that are not enriched in social media and technology, and everybody got a phone, so I can't really say that either. That's kind of a stupid judgment for me to make. Let me clarify that. If you don't have, I was going to say, if you don't have any income coming in, well, you could still get income. You could actually just have a Cash App or any digital service. So yeah, maybe that ain't the case either. I was thinking, well, for people that ain't Okay, for people that ain't getting up going to work, I'm saying, that don't have a pathway to direct income from getting up going to work. If I change the digital currency to just say, well, because see, you can pretty much, this looks okay, this always throws me off over here. This you can actually say, well, if this person ain't working and they ain't getting no income, if they cut off all the health benefits, as far as, okay, this person ain't working, we think this person's able-bodied, but he got mental health. If they cut that off, what happens to those folks, right? Okay, so they don't have a way to really earn no passive income. They may not have a business. They probably don't have LLC. They're probably just getting government benefits, they say. So now here's another thing. In y'all mind, y'all probably thinking, well, Section 8, this hood rat Sharkeisha and Jerome. No. The number one beneficiaries of Section 8 and EBT are white women. White folk. They're the biggest number, SNAP benefits and stuff like that. Don't believe me. Believe Department of Labor. Type it in brother chat. Don't believe me. Type it in brother chat. Google it. They're some of the biggest. So that's going to affect them too. So now the so-called trailer park MAGA voters, or whatever they want to call it, the government assistance, that the rank and file Republican, so-called rank and file Republican, so-called you blacks are taking all the welfare, EBT, this, that, and that. That's going to affect them immediately. If they're on that assistance, if they're on, if you start looking at these little backwoods and stuff, they're the ones that's going to get hit too. So no, the pain doesn't just become no situation where it's just the Negroes. No, absolutely not. They're talking about government shutdown. So now it's going to start affecting, that stereotype is going to be a failed practice right now. As public policy states that, well, hey, you getting the EBT, government shutdown, we ain't got nothing for you. And I was looking at another article that came out. The airport here in Minnesota, I'm talking about Lindbergh, Humphrey, the MSP International Airport is the largest employer in the state of Minnesota, if not one of the largest, right? So if it's not one of the largest, well, it is one of the largest. Their TSA agents ain't getting paid. They say this is the longest shutdown in government history. Something's telling me that they're going to go ahead. If they're going to go ahead and, I think I'm going to email this dude back, man. I need something longer. If they're going to go ahead and keep this thing going. Now, as you can see off to your right, I talk about this all the time. Due to the lynching of George Floyd, that Target now, they rebuilt it up. They got their insurance. So the Target, the Cub, everything looks better than what it's ever had. A lot of times riots bring opportunity. You know what I mean? So, Lake Street, of course, it looks a lot better than what it ever has. Now it looks like they're going to get ready to start building up the police station. I think they're going to do something to it. Off to the left, you see these new buildings, and the Somalians got that sold up too. They got their cafe and all that kind of stuff. They're going to start knocking them out the park too. They ain't going to be able to get these benefits no more. That's a wrap. Yeah, it's over with. Okay, I think they just parked. I don't know what they doing right here. Open 24 hours. When was Wendy's ever open 24 hours? Damn. Didn't know that. The legendary Denny's off to your right. And there used to be a pawn shop kind of behind there too. They sold out of the tenders. They will be right back though, so stay ready. Okay. THO. So yeah, they got that from us. every bit of culture, they got it from the Freedmen. THO. That's how we spell that on social media. I'm gonna get her a little burger. Just gonna get her.
Hi, welcome to Wendy's. What can I get for you?
Oh yes, sir. I'll just take I'll take a double stack, and that's all.
$4.35.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just get her a double stack. Like the Wendy's burger, I'll double stack, man. Double stack used to get us through it. I'm telling you. A double stack used to get us through it. Used to get that double stack. The Wendy's, they rebuilt the Wendy's too. They remodeled the Wendy's, all of this stuff. I'm trying to think if they burnt down the Wendy's. I'm trying to think if they burnt down the Wendy's at all. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not sure. I think they did burn down the Wendy's. No, they didn't. I don't think they might have knocked down some windows. I don't think they burnt. I'm trying to think. They burnt down the AutoZone, but I don't know if they burnt down the Wendy's. This little bus right over here. That's why I used to catch the bus. Thank you. I ain't seen no brothers working up in there yet. Not yet. Yeah, I've been doing the most. So if you look right here to this building, and the bus is right there. Look at that place, that Clorici or whatever, corner pizza bakery or whatever. I think it's Somali joint. It don't even look open. No, I don't even think it's open. I told y'all they about to get them up out of here. They ain't gonna be able to do none of that. If there's anything where they done tied these, because a lot of these folks got shell companies, businesses all over the place. So I want y'all to understand something. They Chase a Bag. Chase a Bag. There's a new branch right there. Chase a Bag. Chase Bank. I want y'all to know something, man. They have never, ever in Minnesota given the freedmen, the foundationals, Black Americans, they've never, ever given us the opportunity or the leverage that even minutely close to a quarter of the feeding our futures and all of that kind of stuff. That's never been something that has been open to us. And let's be clear. A lot of these businesses that a lot of these foreigners have opened, a lot of that money be going back to their country, man. A lot of that stuff, that don't really, nobody's breaking their neck to go to a lot of their restaurants. That's kind of within their community. So that's how you know that it's an intricately created effort for them, for the state of Minnesota to undermine black folk and push the buffer class. It's impossible to do what they've done without help from the state itself. You can't do it. You couldn't have had all these businesses and they got all these different things. They couldn't have practiced group economics. You can't come from a war-torn country, man, and then be up 5 minutes later and have a community gets going up. You can't do that. So that's why they need to start looking at the state's attorney. They need to start looking at the governor. The feds need to be looking at everybody that allowed this stuff to happen. Because they've been letting this rock off for some decades now. All them folks that's involved need to be sitting in Guantanamo Bay against sedition against the United States. ICE ought to be raiding those. Where's all the wealthy white men and women and all these little liberal nonprofits? They need to be raiding them with ICE. To be honest, that's how you really get to the root of the problem. Raid them. That's what needs to be happening in Minneapolis. Immediately. Immediately. They give them a pass. There's no way that something could happen in a state like this. There's no way that kind of amount of money going across Minneapolis with all these shell companies, there's no way that they couldn't have known about it. It's virtually impossible. Because if Jerome and Sharkeisha or Pookie and Ray Ray, if they would have been doing it, they would have had a RICO immediately. You seen what happened over north. You let some niggas gangbang a little bit and sell a few drugs here and there, they out of there. They out of there. If they label it, it's a gang or it's a black American crime, the highs and the lows, y'all up out of there. They might have been looking after them for a couple years, maybe 5 years or whatever the case may be, but they still gonna get them up out of there. Oh man. This nigga's on his cell phone. This nigga's on his cell phone. He's holding up his cell phone. He didn't bother to get a Bluetooth. All right, y'all.